Christmas is quite possibly the most widely celebrated holiday around the world. But that wasn't always the case. It might be hard to imagine this, but it wasn't until the mid-1800s that Christmas became the festive celebration wrapped in traditions that we know today. In fact, many businesses did not even consider it to be a holiday. So what happened? Hi everyone, my name is Ken. Welcome to This House. Today we are uncovering the Victorian-era roots of today's Christmas traditions. The iconic scenes that we now recognize as belonging to Christmas can be traced back to Queen Victoria. In 1848, the Illustrated London News published a handmade drawing of Queen Victoria and her German-born husband, Prince Albert, along with their entire family posing in front of an evergreen tree that was decorated with candles and set indoors. This was a tradition that was celebrated in Germany and was known as the Paradise Tree. Christian German families as far back as the 16th century would decorate a tree on December 24th with candles and wafers to celebrate the religious feast of Adam and Eve, a tradition that symbolized to Christian Germans the idea of redemption in their faith. When the Illustrated London News published the photo of the royal family posing with the tree, the entire Western world soon followed suit. It was said that the very next day, every house in London could be seen with the tree in their front window, decorated with candles, fruits, and homemade decorations, and even small gifts. Around this time, the first Christmas card was commissioned by Henry Cole in full color. The card depicted a family sitting around a table with a message, "Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you." These cards were sold at the price of 1 shilling each. This was very expensive at the time, and only the wealthier Victorians could afford to purchase them to greet each other. The sentiment of sending Christmas cards quickly caught on, and working-class people began to make their own at home to give to family and close friends. This activity was especially popular with children, who would have fun crafting the cards and decorating them with household items such as noodles, string, and anything else that was inexpensive and could easily be arranged on a card. This all happened during the age of industrialization, so the price of Christmas cards would quickly become more accessible by the working class as printing became a major part of everyday operations for companies. By the year 1880, the sending of Christmas cards in full color was common practice for people of all economic backgrounds, and the industry grew to sell over 11.5 million Christmas cards in that year alone. Going back to the year 1848, another tradition had been born. Tom Smith, a British confectioner, pioneered a new way to advertise the sale of his sweets. He visited Paris where he encountered a new type of candy, the bonbon. These were almonds that had been sweetened by sugar and wrapped in colorful twists of paper. Smith decided to recreate this back in London where he would call his new candy the Christmas cracker. It was a simple package of assorted sweets that was wrapped in paper and would make a satisfying popping sound when a child would open it. Later on, the sweets would be replaced with smaller gifts and then again with paper hats that the children could wear. The Christmas cracker would continue to evolve into what we know it as today. Following this time, decorating the home would become a tradition that persists to this day. The medieval tradition of decorating walls and windows with twigs and sprigs would no longer be seen as desirable. In towns, it became of high fashion to decorate the home with synthetic materials such as garland and wreaths. In fact, specific instructions would be given out by the media of the time for decorating homes. The Cassell's Family Magazine ran an article in 1881 that read, "To bring about a general feeling of enjoyment, much depends on the surroundings. It is worthwhile to bestow some little trouble on the decoration of rooms." Messages like this would encourage families to create a festive environment throughout the house, and from this era were born window displays, seasonal tablecloths, and assortments of other festive decor. Traditionally, New Year had been the major holiday where families would exchange small, simple gifts of fruits, nuts, and sweets with each other. But as Christmas grew in popularity, the tradition of exchanging gifts was moved forward to Christmas Day. As the years went on, the tradition of gift giving became more central to the holiday. The simple gifts would be replaced by store-bought gifts and would be placed underneath a tree and wrapped in colorful paper, a tradition that continues on to this day. Gifts would be opened in the morning and followed by a feast. Traditionally, there had always been a feast on this day, ever since the height of the Roman Empire. However, instead of celebrating the pagan holiday of Saturnalia, people were celebrating Christmas. Some of the earliest Victorian Christmas recipes called for mince pies made from meat to be served. This was a traditional dish that was served throughout the Middle Ages at this time of year. This would quickly change as the upper classes would serve pies made without meat. The main course would become either a beef dish or a roasted goose. By the late 1880s, wealthier Victorians had replaced a goose with a roast turkey. The middle class quickly caught on to this dish as it was the perfect size to feed a large gathering of people for dinner. The practicality of a roast turkey meant that it would go on to become the most popular dish by the beginning of the 1900s. While Christmas had been celebrated only by the most devout Christians before the Victorian times, it was the Victorians who popularized the holiday as we know it today. They centered the festivities around family gatherings, gift-giving, feast, and entertainment to be shared by the youngest and the oldest in the whole family. Thank you all for watching. Please make sure to like and comment if you liked this video. If you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button. I'll see you next time on This House.